Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to do a little video on Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you a few different charts on predictions, expectations, and what to look for if we're going to remain bullish or if we're going to turn bearish. So following the correction, we've made a low, which was a higher low than what we saw on the 4th of December. And since then we've been consolidating essentially, and we're stuck within this resistance zone of just under 44,000, and again within the higher low of just under 42.5 and 42.3. So what we need to see for the next 2 days is maintaining consolidation within this channel or a break back up, and we've got significant resistance which was support for us at 44.7. It would be nice to see us break back out of this channel and sit here and consolidate over the next 2 days. If we see that level of consolidation, that essentially will bring us back up to the lower end of this trend, where this is essentially following the Wyckoff phases pattern. And as you all saw in my previous prediction video, I did expect us to have a small bounce and then have a rise back up to 51.8, 51.9 circa before we retest and move higher, where I expect us to be bullish through February. Now, at the point I expected us to break higher, we actually had our correction, which now looks like a back test of close to the low here, but obviously it's a higher low, so it's a good thing. As long as we maintain this and see some level of swing to the upside and then move higher. So we may not see this bounce, but as long as we progress to this point, might touch the top of the channel, have a bounce, and then we're away and gone. Now, I've been doing some reviews of Bitcoin going back to August 2017, and I've created a little fib chart to show that. I've brought it in slightly tighter, but the figures align from August 2017, just so you can see some significant points of resistance and support. Now, as you can see from August 2017, we began making a good run in October 2020. We found resistance at the 786. We then pumped higher, came back to retest 786, and then we moved higher through the 618, found big resistance at the 0.5, and as such had a heavy rejection, which brought us back through the 618, and eventually we retested on the 786, and then we've moved higher through August 21, and again found support and resistance at the 618, slight back test, and we moved higher above the 0.5 this time, which is where we made our first high, retest of the 0.5, and then we made our all-time high. Now at that point we fell back. We fell back to significant point. Well, this was the 4th of December wick that we've seen. And if you see here, there's a very, very strong channel where we either have great support or we dip below and consolidate. Now, you might notice these orange bars that are running through the screen. These are actually 9 weeks apart on each one, because we do seem to have a cycle which lasts 9 weeks, whether we go from a low and consolidate and make a high, or whether we come from a low, make a high, and then retrace back down. This does seem to occur over a 9-week period. Now for the last, I'll say 10 weeks, but 9 weeks, we started on a low, back testing our support, made an all-time high, and then we've come back and back tested the same again. So what we need to do now essentially is remain in this channel to stay bullish, and ideally we need to stay above the 4th of December low, which we only need to hold for the next 2 days to remain really bullish, and then we should see a nice green candle, which we have seen each time we made a low. There's been a green candle, low, green candle, low here, green candle. So if we've got this as our low, we should see a nice green candle of support, and it'll bring us back up to test 0.5 again. We might consolidate around that area and then move off higher, and I do expect that we would make an all-time high. Now, as you can see, the fib chart doesn't lie. The support zones and resistance zones are really fitting here, and like I say, this dates back to August 2017. So from the low back then to where we are now, we have actually been sitting and bouncing off of the support resistance zones. So Bitcoin's not looking bad at the moment. I know the corrections feel like they're quite monumental, but looking at the bigger picture, if we can hold this line of support here, which has been significant as resistance or as a bounce point to go higher, so we had it as resistance, and then we've got it as support. It was resistance here, and then we found it as support, and then here it's been support so far. But what we don't want to see is this to wick below, and then what really would probably happen is we'd have a repeat of this scenario here, where if we were to wick below and close the week, we more than likely would come back down to the 34,000 range, consolidate for a period before retesting, and then moving on higher. So for now, I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin as long as we hold for the next 2 days above 42,000. At that point, I expect us to see a nice bounce and then move on higher. And just on this fib chart, where the patterns do seem to be fitting, we should have a blow off top within the next, if we take this to the 9-week here, possibly up to the 80,000 mark, have a retrace. If we're able to hold the 0.5, I don't see why within the next 18 to 27 weeks, half a year, we would be up at looking at the 120,000 mark. That is only going to be possible within the next 27 weeks if Bitcoin holds 42,000. If it doesn't, we're going to be consolidating beneath, possibly a dip lower. I wouldn't expect us to go lower than 28. But yeah, we would be essentially with the bears and period of consolidation below this support channel. So what we want to see next 2 days, for the last time, next 2 days, Bitcoin, hear us. I'm praying for you. Consolidate, stay above 42, and we should have a nice move higher. All right, thank you everyone. I hope you appreciate my little bit of mad science logic, and please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.